Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Trevor's Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and we're back with another Take My Money video where we go over some of the crowdfunding campaigns that are going on right now in board gaming and let you know what we think of them.
Yes. So we've got 5 projects today.
We do.
A few more actual games than that. One of them's kind of a 2-game deal. But yeah, I think we have, what is it, 1 game found and 4 Kickstarters?
Yep. Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking the one was going to be a game found, but it ended up being a Kickstarter. But yeah, we've got. Seems like the last couple times we've had somewhere the campaigns have been multiple games, which I was gonna. I don't know. Maybe we need to do a video on that because that to me, to kind of talk about it and just see our thoughts on that. Let us know in the
Yeah.
comments below what you think about Kickstarter campaigns offering
Yeah.
multiple games or having multiple games you can buy. What your thoughts are on that? If you usually back those ones or um, how you usually approach those ones. But
Yeah, there's another one that we aren't covering here that I saw that had like 5 games, which I
no,
was like, what the heck? But that was just had 5 games, didn't want to stretch it out into 5 different releases, so I can see that, but usually I'm not that interested. Probably gets me less interested in a
yeah,
campaign.
I would
But
agree because
moving on from that,
right.
we
But
talk about a single game
exactly, we're
for
going to
our
start
first
off with
project.
Wanderlust Discover the World
By
by Pectus Studio.
have I? Do you know another game from this Pectus Studio?
This is they're first created on Kickstarter anyway.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so it looks like they've backed two games, but this is their first one that they've created. And
Yes. And
immediately I'm getting vibes of uh, trekking the world or trekking national parks. Uh,
yes, that was my immediate reaction as well. There's that, and I think there's a few more games that kind of have
yeah.
the world map there, and it definitely gives that feel. And from the look, like even just the card slot placements, I think Trek in the World kind of has them down in those same areas of the board.
Hmm.
But yeah, and then the gameplay I looked at, it seems similar, going to different locations, moving to different locations, gaining memorabilia, taking pictures, different things at those locations to score different points and set collection throughout the game, which doesn't sound like anything groundbreaking. Like I said, it seems very familiar. But I think the thing that stands out with this for me is the artwork on all of those cards, kind of bringing to life each of those locations. The style kind of carries out throughout each of those. So even though they're wildly different settings, they do all feel similar, and I really like that art style personally. Um, but yeah, and some good wooden bits that I was a fan of. The little explorer meeples, the flags. So a overall game that doesn't get me overly excited, but production that does have me more interested.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say the production is definitely solid in my opinion as well. Really like the look of these, of the different artwork that they used here on the different cards. I think that really is a big part of what draws me in. And like you said, I always love the screen printed wooden pieces, or even if they're not screen printed, these are some cool looking wooden pieces that I haven't really seen quite that shape before. So it's pretty cool. But this one, yeah, definitely. I think uh, kind of taken back just because I think there's many games that kind of feel like the same sort of thing. And like you said,
Yep.
didn't
Yep.
look like it was anything brand new, bringing anything brand new to what they're offering. So yeah, I don't think this would be one that I'd probably back on here. It does feel like one that could maybe have, well, I think first it'll have to probably prove itself against those other games,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people are going to have to be like, oh wow, this is kind of a either a hidden gem or this one,
Yeah.
far does a lot more than these other games. I think that's going to happen first, but then if it does have that, I think it could potentially have a life after this Kickstarter. It feels like one that could, and it feels like one
Yeah,
that
yeah,
could maybe be in, stores like Walmart or Target or something,
yep, yep,
where you might get this as like a family game, possibly. I guess I'm
yeah. I
not
think
sure if
that
like the trekking games are. Do they sell them
yeah.
there? I'm not sure.
I think maybe Wrecking the National Parks. I might have seen that one there, but I'm not sure. So don't take my word for that. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I have absolutely no clue. Um, but yeah, I think it is one definitely with a theme and the look of it that could get taken off the shelf by someone who's not really a big gamer.
Mhm.
Um, and hopefully, I've played one of the trekking games, and those are pretty approachable. Hopefully, this one is equally approachable to someone in the hobby just getting into it. Um,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
so interest, but probably not enough to back it.
Right.
I
And
would
this
say.
price seems reasonable enough. It seems about like probably what you'd pay for, maybe a little bit more than what you'd pay for like one of those Ticket to Ride or trekking games. I think you'd probably pay a little bit less than this, but
Yep.
just kind of bringing something to life is going to usually cost a little bit more on Kickstarter and stuff, but I, I think it seems fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, this one currently is not funded,
that's true.
I believe.
That is something to note is yeah if this one looks really interesting to you, you have it'll be 5 days I think from when this video is showing, 5 or 6 days, so get to this project and back it right away if it looks interesting, because yeah, they
Yeah.
still need about 9 to 10,000 to go,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I would like to see it fun because it is a really nice looking game, and
it does look
I
nice.
think we need more, like you said, that you could. This feels like one that could be in a Walmart or a Target.
Mhm.
Again, haven't actually played the game, but that's the feel that I get from it, and I think we need more of those in the hobby.
Mhm.
So go back it now.
If you want, but
Command you.
this one is currently funding. It's got 11 days to go, so it does have a little bit more time. And it was created by you, Peppa, along with Salt. It's The Hunt. This
Good
one's
friend.
the Game Found project. And this one, for some reason, when I saw this cover, it made me think of Blitzkrieg. So that had me interested in it. I knew, or it said it was a two-player only game, so that kind of really had me thinking that. So I had a little bit of excitement when I went into looking at this one. And then the price point was about £23. I don't know what that is in US dollars. I think it's roughly the same, probably 25 to $28 or something. And then I looked into it a little, or I was looking at kind of the gameplay, and it just, I feel like I'd just rather play Blitzkrieg, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
There just was a little bit more going on, it felt like, and it didn't feel quite as snappy, but maybe it was. Maybe it could be. It just maybe felt like I was just watching a little bit of the beginning of a playthrough. So maybe it is a little bit more, and they were just kind of describing things, but it just felt like a couple of things just took a little bit to get going, and maybe that's not actually the case. And I think there's like a hidden element to it, and I don't know that I'm not necessarily looking for more of those games personally. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah, I was interested seeing the cover, and obviously the price point's really nice.
mhm,
And I really enjoyed that cover, kind of that board, which I mean, you don't want it to be too colorful and distracting, but I do feel like it doesn't quite deliver what I would want based
mhm,
on the cover. I think the card art meshes with the cover art, but the board doesn't really, nothing too special for me. And
mhm.
being kind of like a battling game, so you're going to be doing most of that. A little disappointing, but
Mhm.
obviously I
Yeah,
haven't seen it in person. I'm just looking at these pictures.
right. Exactly. And yeah, this one could be a solid game. I think it'd probably be one, since it's a two-player only game. If I had the chance to play it at a convention, I might try it out, but I don't think this wouldn't be one I would back, and I would definitely try before I buy, just because I do have Blitzkrieg, and in my head I'm comparing them, even though they're not even remotely the same game. But I just know how much I love that, so it's like these games that I think more recently I've been realizing I've got to find games that I think are, actually deserve a place on the shelf. And I
Yep.
don't know that this one is quite for me, but if you're looking
Yep.
for kind of a 1-versus-1 head-to-head matchup type game where there's some kind of hidden information, or you're kind of moving around, one of the players moving around in hidden ways, possibly. I can't remember if both of them are or not, but um, yeah, this one might be for you. Definitely check it out. I mean, like we said, the price seems decent enough, so uh, I don't think it's taking too much of a risk if it seems interesting to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we'll go to our next one, which is another Kickstarter project, and this is the one that we were talking about. Was 2 games. It is 2 games that are both have words in them that are going to be hard to pronounce. I'm sure I'm going to butcher them. I think the first one's Alpujarras, something like that, and the Fisheries of Gloucester,
I
something
think,
like that.
yeah, one of those. One of those. It was close. Close enough.
And this one just it must have recently got over its funding, which is really cool, because part of me feels like these ones are games that kind of they feel like they belong on Kickstarter. That's where they're gonna have to go to maybe get kind of more eyes on them and actually become
Yep.
something. They both kind of had a little bit of that feel to me, but
Yeah.
they still felt like they're well produced enough that they uh, deserve being backed as well. But I don't know. There's just it was that just me, or did you feel like that, or not really?
I don't know if these really give me a feel of Kickstarter games. Actually,
Oh, okay.
I I just think a little more epic, I guess. When I think,
Uwe Rosenberg here.
yes, Uwe Rosen.
If he did a fruit game,
If
oh,
he
he
did,
did. I think he
yes.
does. Well, he does that bat game now. I think that has fruit in it. His
Oh,
most recent one
interesting.
is about
Is it
bats, I think.
polyomino? Is it polyomino?
I don't remember.
No. But yeah, I'm not sure what I think of this game board. It's interesting looking.
It is.
Uh,
It might be a
just
little too kind of
yeah,
weird
I
for
think that's
me.
supposed to be kind of your trees and your areas, and this looks a little too abstract. I think for
Hmm.
me,
Yeah,
for
and I
that
don't know
game.
if this might not be. I'm kind of curious if kind of what the actual final board would look like on the table. If it maybe look a little bit better than this.
That's
Yeah,
true. That's true.
this feels like maybe this feels now that you say that it kind of looks or makes me think of
Like,
Ethnos, where it's like
yeah,
Ethnos is a solid game, but the board and some of the stuff isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst either. That's
yeah,
kind of how I feel about this. But I do
yeah.
like all the other wooden
All the wooden.
components.
Ooh, those are some very, very nice wooden components.
And I do like the kind of going around the outside of the track to take these actions, and
Yep.
you're collecting these fruits with your farmers, and then kind of a little area control or area majority. I mean, I think it looks a little bit better here, but
Oh, that does look better there. I will say.
yeah, it's a little more clear here. Whereas here, it kind of looks more
Yeah,
like a puzzle. Although this looks like a
yeah.
different picture now. I'm not 100% sure, but
Just going back and forth of whether or not we like this board.
right. But yeah, I think you take the actions going around this outside of the
Yep.
board. I'm not sure if those are variable setup, but
Yep.
I think that
Must
looks
be. Yeah.
interesting. It looks like an interesting enough game. It feels like one that could be maybe a hidden gem type game someday
Yep.
where
Yep.
people talk about really liking it. I could see that being the case for this one. I don't know why. It
Yeah.
just feels like it could be sneaky good game, but
Yeah. What's the playtime on that one?
that
So I think both of
is
these aren't overly long either.
30 minutes per player.
Not,
That's not too bad. We usually
not too
play at
bad.
2 players, maybe three, so
Yeah.
an hour and a half. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
not too bad.
It does give me a feel of just like a. I mean, we play mostly two-player games. It gives me a feel of like a quick two-player game. Really nice production with those meeples.
Mhm.
And just something different and creative and unique with those around the board pieces. But
Mhm.
we'll see.
Yep. And
Oh,
then we
this one
have
is
the
two-player only for
fisheries for
45
30
minutes.
minutes. Yes. This one also, I'm not sure that I'm convinced on the board. I do like the wooden pieces. I like the fish shapes and stuff. And the boats look good enough, but they kind of, I don't know. The board's fine, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks kind of just gritty and almost like a war game almost,
Yeah, it does a
which
little
is
bit.
a little strange. But uh, I
The
think the
fish
game
are
seems
attacking.
interesting enough. The fish are attacking the coastline here, and you have to defend it with everything you've got. And that's exactly what this is all about. But no, I believe you send out your ships and try to pretty much go and collect the different fish. And I think there's a thing along the edge, and your farthest back boat can only be so far away from your front boat, so you're kind of moving them all, and you're kind of creating like these polyomino lines that you have to follow to go out to sea and whatnot. It looked interesting enough. I think this is another one that could be good. I
Yeah.
I haven't gone fishing that much recently, but I do enjoy fishing when I do go, and I don't know that I have a fishing game.
Yeah, it's crazy that we don't. I mean,
I
it's
think
in a
I've
few
heard of
games,
some, but
but like Feast for Odin has a fishing action,
mhm.
although it has an action for everything. But yeah, I don't know if we have any specifically fishing themed games. Now that I think of it, I am very interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of these I feel probably going to be pretty solid games and ones
Hmm.
that I'm pretty sure I would enjoy. Where something
Yeah.
like The Hunt, like we mentioned, I don't know if that's really for us.
Hmm.
These ones I think would be pretty solid games.
I think so.
I think he's made more games in the past, and I think most of those are well received. That's what I've
Mm-hmm.
heard. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a chance to try these. Probably wouldn't back them,
Hmm.
just because, like you said, kind of went through our collection A to Z and tried to call some games. It's kind of brought a new perspective on
Hmm.
how valuable the shelf space is and
Right.
really deserving. And I don't think these quite
Quite.
warrant.
Yeah. I would agree. I think we're probably about the same range for these ones. And yeah, I would if I had these two and the hunt all at a convention or something, I could play two out of the three of them. I'd probably play these two before I'd play the hunt. Uh, yeah, and then the price if you're just getting Fisheries is $25. If you're just getting Alpujarras or whatever, it's $35. If you get both, 55. And then there's kind of some additional smaller things that you can add on and get kind of this whole bundle for $80. Ooh, you got it. Well, this is all gone. Dang it. 12 backers. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, I don't think it would. Don't think I'm interested enough to pull the trigger on it back.
Yeah.
Although I might have something else to say about this one that we're on right here.
Oh boy.
Let's go to Japan from AEG. Yeah, this one's almost
Hey,
got 5,000 backers, which is
yeah.
pretty good for what seems like a smaller game.
Yeah.
It's almost
Freaking
300. Well, it is over 300,000.
308,000. Nice. That's,
17 days to go too. So
oh
these
wow.
ones, this
This
one,
doesn't
these
feel
last
like a
couple are odd.
game to get that much funding.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't give me that feel, but it's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of things about this campaign that like before I looked at this page, if we weren't doing this, I wasn't looking at. I don't think I would have looked at this. It sounded interesting and it looked good. I mean, when I'd seen, I'd heard people talk about it a little bit, but I was like, eh, it's probably it is what it is. But as I went through this page a little bit, I was like, there's a few interesting things. I think if you get a certain copy or type of the game, I think it's the second. I don't remember if it's both pledges or if it's just the festival goer pledge. I think you get it wrapped in this cloth, which seems cool. I don't know if it's needed, but it seems cool enough.
It is.
And yeah, it's kind of sounds like it's a drafting and set collection game, which are two things I really like. And to me, both those things together speak easy, quick, snappy turn game,
Yep.
and those
Yep.
are sometimes my favorite games. So
Yeah. This it sounds like it'd be that type of game, but when I look at the cards here, that looks like just a little too much on the card. Although I assume this cat is the victory point icon, so that's probably actually not too much going on in the cards. But just looking at them, I was like, oh, that seems like maybe a few too many things on there for what looks like a lighter game. Maybe like a sushi go party level game, maybe a little more complicated, but
which I think would make me like it even. Not that I don't like Sushi Go Party,
yeah,
but
yeah,
just having a little bit more thinkingness to it could be good, as long as, like you said, as long as it's not too much where you're really, oh, this is way too much symbology, and I'm not sure if I have this, how does it react with
yeah,
this, and
yeah,
but and just the theme of this just feels really cool. I don't
yeah,
know if
yeah.
I'd ever go to Japan, but just the story behind it, where the designer and was supposed to visit Japan and then kind of planned it all, and then 2020 happened and he didn't get to go, and designed this game kind of based on doing some more research on Japan and kind of planning a trip versus actually going there and taking it. It's kind of an interesting uh, take on it, where you don't have to do something like the Ticket to Ride or Wanderlust or trekking, where you're actually moving around to the different places, but here you're kind of able to visit that place without actually moving around a map, which is cool.
Yep, yep.
Cool take on it. I've always thought of there being maybe a game to kind of, and I think that this is kind of feels like it'd be it, where it's kind of feels like you're on the trip or do what you do if you went to a certain
Yep,
place. So
yep, yeah.
it does. It actually excites me quite a bit. Kind of
Yeah, yeah,
disappointing because I was hoping I wouldn't have any more things pulling me in to make me want to back. But
yeah. It kind of takes the work out of it, I guess, of the trip, and you just get to enjoy it and
mhm.
see what you're doing, type of thing, which is very cool. This game gives me the feel like this one is going to be. I think it's going to be very, very popular. This game.
I
I
can
think
see
you're
that.
going to be seeing it all over Instagram. I haven't seen anything currently, but this just feels like that kind of game that's going to be riding quite a big wave when this hits, I think.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's $40 for the typical pledge and about $70 for uh, the Matsuri
Matsuri.
edition. Matsuri edition. I don't remember who did this one. Who's doing this one?
Josh Wood? Is that, or oh,
Oh yeah, AEG. So yeah,
AG?
this is gonna be yeah. Okay, so yeah, I couldn't remember if it. I should have remembered it was AEG,
Yeah,
but yeah. So this one is likely going to be, I would think, available after the fact. So I would
yeah,
think
I think so.
unless you're gonna do the festival goer, I don't think you necessarily need to back this unless you want it right away. I don't know if I'd back it at just the retail, just
Yeah,
because I think you'll get a chance to buy it for that price or possibly lower in the future, and you wouldn't have to pay shipping. Well, you might have to pay shipping. It depends where you get it, but
yeah, yeah.
I just think of it as going to miniature market and like, well, I got to come up with $100 worth of stuff to get free shipping. But
I need free shipping. I'm probably going to get these anyway eventually. So,
right, so yeah, it looks like you get a
gold foil.
player gold foil box,
Oh
some
my god,
upgraded
wooden
wooden
tokens,
tokens, pretty solid, pretty solid. Some cloth bags,
eggs. Okay, I mean you need
day
this
trip.
upgrade. Look at these.
Then
Oh
you
my
get
god,
these
bowls.
custom printed ceramic bowls for your bits.
That's pretty
Pretty
cool.
pretty cool. I think it works for this game. Sometimes
You're
stuff
not going to use
like
those
it,
for another game.
right? Some sometimes it seems like I don't know. Some things are just kind of added on.
Yeah.
Maybe this cloth that they putting around here maybe didn't have to happen. We'll see.
Yeah.
But and these bowls really don't have to happen either. But it does feel cool to kind of have a kind of a unique, since
Yeah.
you're using it for bits. It kind of makes sense. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let that one slide. It looks like if you get the Matsuri edition, you'll also get a day trip expansion for free. Otherwise, you
Yeah, I
get
like
it.
the artwork throughout all of this. It's
Mhm.
a different style. I don't know if we really have a game that has that feel, but I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Yeah, and yeah, just kind of some normal drafting. It looked like, and some set collection. Looks like stretch goals. It's kind of interesting. 10,000, 25, 60, 120. I wonder if it became more popular than they had expected or had done better, or if that's kind of what they were expecting. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's done pretty well so far. Some of these things, I'm not sure what I think. This is like one of those things where I don't think it's needed. It's like this tape. I guess I don't know what that's for exactly. Luggage bag. I don't know. Stickers. I don't know if those things are needed, but
Yeah. Just sell you any travel related product.
exactly.
Slap the game's name on there.
And then they're having a tournament bracket to determine what the best experience is in Japan. So it'll be interesting to see what wins. So kind of a little interaction with the community, which is always good. It looks like you can add on some neoprene mats if you want. I don't usually get too many neoprene things, but looks like there's videos to check it out too if you are interested. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this one. I'll probably just wait until it comes to retail and see how it's received. But yeah, I could see this one being extremely, like you said, this one could be really popular. Could blow the doors off. I'm hoping it does well.
Yeah, and I see it entering the collection in the future.
Oh boy,
the way you're talking about it, especially.
Maybe.
And you've never been wrong about a game.
I've never been wrong. Wait a minute. No. For a second, I saw this Daydreamer thing and estimated delivery May 2023. I'm like, is this game already made? But the other ones are April 2024. It must be the Pledge Manager opening or something. Or that must be something. I don't know. So it's got a ways to come out yet. But for a second there, I'm like, well, wait a minute. This thing's going to be out.
2 months.
Oh boy. And the one that I've already backed.
Okay, I was going to say, I know you're going to back this one, but has he already?
Unmatched.
Likes to drop those bombs in these videos every now and then. Already backed it.
Already backed it. Yeah, this one, well, this just came out today, actually, so I just wanted to talk about it immediately. Pepper's like, oh, that can wait till 2 weeks from now when we do our next video, but I had to get this thing.
I mean,
as funded
we're
as
going to talk about it then, probably, too. He has it scheduled for the next 4 videos. Just going to keep updating on the project.
That's true. Got to keep it going. Because it sounds like they might at least reveal what the next set's going to be once it hits 7,000 backers. So I'm interested to see what. I don't think they're going to actually be selling it here, but I think this is the next set that they're going to come out with. So I'm interested in that. But this one is, if you've ever played Unmatched, I think you would probably like it. Maybe. It's a cooperative version of Unmatched, so it's kind of unique. I think I've played once like a teams where it's 2-on-2, so that's kind of similar, but I'm interested to kind of see how this will work, and whether it
introduces like something. A big bad type of character to face that is not controlled by a player. So that'll be interesting to see how they incorporate kind of an AI or a deck that you're fighting against. That's a little worrying because I feel like either that really works or it really doesn't. So, but at this point, I trust them to. I don't think they're going to release a game if that doesn't work. So I'm assuming this is going to be pretty good, I think. And if you've watched our top 50 videos, top 50 games of all time videos, Unmatched has appeared on both of our lists, decently high. So to get a cooperative version of that, and I believe the characters in this you can use them in regular competitive Unmatched. So not only is it a cooperative version, but also more characters. This was an instant back, I guess. Did you ever doubt backing this?
Depended a little bit on the price, because I know that this is the one that I thought could have been on GameFound, because I believe that's where they did their storage solution for Unmatched, and for that the prices and shipping were a little high. I think mainly the shipping piece seemed a little high. So I'm not saying that was wrong. It just seemed pretty high, so I was just a little worried at what the pricing would be on here because I figured it would likely be something that would be in retail later. So I was like, yeah, it would eventually make the collection, just whether or not it would be back on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, the two big bads in this one are the Mothman and the Martian Invaders. I think these both look really cool.
Old B movie villains, which I like that. Kind of feels the closest to kind of that Hubble and Fog, those old literary characters. That's the feel that I got from Unmatched the first time I played it. And this kind of gives me that feel as well. And I really enjoy that.
Yeah, and then they've got some minions, which don't have the miniatures, but they've got Skunk Ape, Jersey Devil, Blob, Loveland. I don't know. Frog.
Loveland something. Yeah.
Tarantula and Ant Queen. So yeah, all those types of characters, and I don't think you can actually play as these ones in the Unmatched, but it sounds like they're going to maybe do something where they're going to have I don't know, the fans kind of create decks for these, but I don't know if they'll ever officially print them. Which
interesting.
I wish there was a way to play them.
Yeah, that feels like a missed opportunity. I think.
I agree.
Just like you make this awesome miniature, and you aren't able to use it as your miniature.
Right.
Aren't able to, because I mean, then that also opens up, I guess, pretty much competitive version of this game. You could play as the bad guy. You could maybe still incorporate some of the event deck or whatever they would have in here into that, and still have someone controlling that. So that's kind of a third way to play the game. Oh yeah, can you use already existing characters in this game mode?
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you can fight with the other characters instead of these.
Oh my god, a T-Rex. T-Rex is where my mind goes to immediately.
To take on the Spix Invaders. That's where the dinosaurs went. It all makes sense now. But yeah, we've got three characters I'd never heard of before, and one that I feel has been used in quite a few games. I think he's become more popular kind of in the board game community in the last 5 or so years. But we got Dr. Jill Trent, Science Sleuth, Annie Christmas, Nikola Tesla, and Golden Bat, who was the one I was obviously talking about. Everyone's using Golden Bat.
Golden Bat.
The first superhero, supposedly. But they all sound interesting. So that's good. Sure. But like I said, I'd never heard of them before. So interesting to learn about these new characters.
Yes. But yeah, I do wish they also had some miniatures for those minions or side villains.
Well, yeah, not the. Sadly, these minions don't.
They do. I mean, those are decent tokens, but as well, I would have also. I mean, we just want so much more from this.
We're just asking so much.
I want miniatures for them. I want to be able to play as them. Also, why not make them the main villain as well? Throw in that as an option. Just quadruple the content.
Exactly.
And then quadruple it again. Oh,
I do like that they at least did this for those little moths and Martians. This is really cool.
Those are really nice.
And that is one of the things that one of the reasons I'd want to back this versus waiting for it, I think. And some foil cards as well, which are always cool, I think. But yeah, these are definitely probably the coolest part, I would say.
Yep.
So yeah, it's $60 for an $83 value. And actually in the US free shipping, which $60 seems like a really solid price with free shipping.
It is.
Continental United States.
Yeah.
So that's why it was an instant back then, because I'm like, well, that's a really good price, I think, for this.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like, I don't know, a lot of projects have been surprisingly well priced. Like even just this episode, we've talked about a few where it's like, oh, that's like a great deal. You get $20-$30. This one has got a little more to it, and that's $60. And like you said, free shipping. Because I know, kind of searching down some of the other Unmatched sets have been a little more expensive, like especially for some that feature maybe just 2 characters, being like $30 to $40, or it doesn't really feel like that's overly worth it. But for us being completionists and loving the game, we do eventually give in and make those purchases.
Oh boy. Don't say that about Deadpool and Bruce Lee.
No, that's true. That's true. Still looking for those. We will pay anything.
That's the crazy part. Yeah, we're already thinking like 30, 40 for 2 seems like a lot. And talking about 100 plus for 1, it seems insane, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Once we get bored of the 200 other characters.
Yeah, I mean that's going to come up here pretty shortly, I would think. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. So, and it's delivering this year, so August 2023. So I think that's why I don't think they really have like stretch goals, but I think they might have some more maybe free promo type stuff coming up. But I do like that too when they don't have extra stuff, so they can just kind of already start production, just kind of getting a number kind of idea of how many to make. I like that when it can come out that same year, so it doesn't feel like, okay, I'm backing this, but now I have to just forget about it until next summer. So like,
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I do. I just wonder. I'm like, is the game going to feel like Unmatched, or is it going to more feel like something like Cthulhu: Death May Die? Since you are a cooperative facing a big bad, I don't know if Unmatched just really feels like a duel, kind of outwitting your opponent type of game. I just don't know if they can. I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be great, but I just don't know if it's going to capture that feel.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it'll still feel at least like it's got a little bit of Unmatched in it. But yeah, I'm guessing it'll feel a little bit different. But it sounds like from at least some of the people in the comments that have said they were playtester. Granted, that it seemed like a lot of people were playtesters apparently, and maybe there were that many. But they all seem to say like, "Oh, it's an instant back. Oh, it's an instant back." So I don't know if they just like Unmatched that much, or if it's specifically this game and game mode that they really like.
Yeah,
but
it's interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, those are the Kickstarter crowdfunding projects we looked at this week. Like I said, I backed this one. Most likely, if I was going to back another one, it'd be Let's Go to Japan. But the only one that you really need to look out for, I would think, is if you really want to back Wanderlust or want it to happen, go out and check that one out. But otherwise, let us know in the comments below which projects you're backing, if there's other ones we should be taking a look at. But otherwise, we will see you in 2 weeks-ish. Anything else, Pepper?
As always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that content.